Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 worst features in Raid and actually how I feel like we could fix them. There's 5 things in this game where they're either really dated and have not really kind of grown up with the game, or they just came in and were straight up bad straight away. So let's kick off with number 1. And this one for me is probably like my personal mission nowadays. I've had a few since I've been doing content on the game. Some of them, in fairness, have changed over time, but this one is the worst feature, in my opinion, in the entire game. And it could be so good, right? The token trader. How do you get tokens? You can unbind legendary champions and get life points. Yeah, so if you used to unbind any legendary that you've got, you could earn yourself 500 points. I would honestly suggest that nobody ever do this with the feature in its current place. Unless you are so close, and this happened to me one time, I've done it once. Unless you are so close to something amazing that it kind of forces you to do it, and you are probably a bit of a whale, honestly. That's the only reason that I would ever imagine someone use this feature at all. But I wanted to get my maximum lizardman finished, and I needed a Fushan to do that, and I dipped in to the token trader and bought a Fushan. That's the only time I've ever used it. So why is it so bad? Firstly, it came out with these 6 champions. They've never changed. Just take a moment here and understand how poor that is from game design point of view. Like, they've never changed. It's one of the easiest things in the world to change. You could even completely randomize it. You could randomize different champions at different costs. It would be so easy to have a monthly rotation of champions through this. 1 different void, 5 different champions sitting in here, and legendary champions, and it just rotates month after month. You could even have 2 slots for epics, or 1 slot for an epic, 1 slot for a rare, that rotate and are just a lot cheaper. It's such an easy feature to make good. The points are too high. If you're unbinding a champion for 500 and you have to unbind 8 legendaries to get 1 different legendary, and in the non-voids 6 legendaries to get 1 different legendary, it's an obscene cost. It's obscene. Yeah, that's why it's whale only. So this whole kind of feeling around the cost point is bad, and the fact that it doesn't rotate just makes it basically obsolete. It's a nothing feature. It doesn't even exist to me. It's not even in the game anymore because it's so poorly done. So token trader, and you know what? It could be so good. You could earn life tokens through events, through different events that aren't running right now. You could earn life tokens through things like Clan v Clan. They could put life tokens into the Hydra. Because Hydra, once you've got Mithrala, it's like, what's the point? Apart from perhaps a bit of clan gold. So yeah, there's definitely ways it could improve this. You could unbind epics for a much smaller amount of life tokens, and therefore start to make the unbinding a bit more feasible for non-whales. Yeah, it's just like, it's a feature that is waiting to be grabbed by somebody in the Raid development team and taken on. And I just feel like it's so easy. It's so easy, it makes me want to be sick in my own mouth how easy it would be to make that cool. So the second one is like one of the age-old features, the marketplace. Absolutely atrocious once you're past day 20. Once you're past day 20, what's the point in this place? Yeah, once you're past day 20, you've picked up an armor in here, you've had a look for a bit of overpriced speed gear. What is the point? I am properly endgame. What's the chances that I need this chest plate? What's the chances that I need this 3-star common helm? I wouldn't have leveled this and bought this on day 1, let alone day, 3 years in. Yeah, it doesn't scale with my account. It doesn't scale with my progress. Literally, the only reason I come into the marketplace ever is to buy a mystery shard, and that is to complete the daily quest. Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason. What a waste of a massive part of, our UI, our kind of bastion here. What a waste. I can't even believe it's still the same. Every, 10 levels? Every 10 levels you gain, refresh it. Refresh it with better stuff. After level after level 20, I don't want to see anything less than 5-star gear in here because I will never use it. Maybe you get the odd rares coming in here. You get different gear sets which aren't just the trashy opening stuff. You know, you get chance of 6-star stuff. You get much higher chance of epic level gear. You get maybe old fusion fragments dropping in here, but they're expensive. Maybe you get life tokens dropping in here, but it's only like 5 or something. It doesn't matter if it's a small amount. Over time, you're actually looking in the marketplace for stuff that can help your account. The marketplace it may as well be called "What a Waste of Time Place." Honestly, the marketplace may as well just disappear after level 20 and then just instantly give me my quest. What a waste of time it is. It's so sad because actually, again, it could be a really cool feature. It could be something, and I think I don't understand. Like, Raid are well aware of the power of RNG. Okay, they do it with shard pools. They're going to do it with this new system. They do it with gear drops. They do it everywhere in the game. And Aristocrat are also well aware of the kind of human psyche, yeah, and how kind of tempted we are with chance. Now, I know that the marketplace is a free refresh and all that type of stuff, but like you're taking away that element of chance for someone who's past like level 20. There's nothing in here which could possibly grab me. Whereas actually, if there was a chance of something in here to grab me, then, you know, you've got a feature that people actually come back to your game for and want to see. Every hour they might be logging in to see, oh, is there an ancient shard in here? Not just 5 a month, but just because it could happen. Yeah, not because it's forced to happen, because it could happen. That one, I don't know, not 1%, maybe like 0.01% chance of a void shard popping up. There's so many things that could be in here that it makes my mind boggle that they've not updated this feature. It's crazy stuff. It's so easy to do. Again, it's like all of these things I'm talking about today, they're so easy to fix. Okay, then the third one we're going to talk about is going to be Hydra. Now, I actually enjoy Hydra a lot more. The actual game mode, they've kind of made the fights more realistic in terms of, you know, scaling difficulty. They've made it better to be able to get yourself to kind of like 1 key comps. They've added things like the provoke on the head of decay, which massively changes the game. Absolutely massively changes the game because you're now in control of the fight a lot more. And I feel like the tweaks they made to the difficulty stuff is just better. Yeah, it's more akin with what we needed. And hopefully now they do scale up and go for the harder heads as well. So the biggest issue is obviously this kind of reward system. And the reward system, firstly, it's only once a week. And secondly, it's just not enticing enough for people to want to do this game mode and really enjoy the game mode. The gear sets are very PvP focused, and a lot of people, if they don't want to get to plat, they don't need this gear set. If they get it, it's a bonus, I guess, but you don't need it. And they're trying to mix PvE with PvP content here. Doesn't necessarily work. Clan Gold's actually pretty good. You can get some nice stuff from the clan shop. So I actually feel like that's a good element here. The gear set's fine to keep, but honestly, there should be, very simply, either fragments for old fusions, life tokens, or there should be shards and books. And it just should be here. Simple as that. If you did that, everyone would do this every week, or they'd fight to make sure that they've got teams that can make it work. Okay, then let's talk about the fourth feature. Fourth worst. We're kind of like wrapping this up, I guess, but Tag Team Arena is ultimately flawed alongside the Bazaar ultimately flawed. Okay, so let's talk about the actual Tag Team Arena and why I think it's flawed. And again, it's simple stuff, right? There's no reason to try and win Arena. This concept doesn't make any sense to me. Player versus player environment, and there's no reason to try and be the best in a player versus player environment. What game ever does that? If we are not competing to be the best, why would you try and be the best? It doesn't make any sense. So for PvP, they need to do it in a much more similar way to Classic in terms of whenever their reset element is, and it could be a monthly thing, it could be weekly, fortnightly, whatever, there should be rewards. They did it on the first ever time. You could get new avatars, you could get new stuff. There should be better rewards when the reset happens. Whenever they want to do it, maybe they do it as a monthly in the 3v3, but people should be fighting to try and get first place. And if I was fighting to try and, you know, come into like a top ranking system and show you guys how I got there, then damn, that's way more compelling and interesting to do, even with this particularly disinteresting game mode. Yeah, there's just more reason to try and fight your way up to first place. So that's the ultimate flaw of the system. I mean, the other thing is it's just incredibly slow and dull in terms of a game mode, which is a shame because actually the concept of needing to use 12 champions instead of 4 is good. It means that people with broader rosters have to think their way through the battle. Fighting different teams is good. It's just ultimately with no ultimate reward or challenge or need to be first, coupled with extremely long game mode for relatively minimal rewards, it just doesn't entice me to want to do it. If they jazzed up the Bazaar, which is the kind of combo of this weak bit of content, then all of a sudden it could be different. So first thing, there should not be this stupid tier system. Why have you done this? Bronze, silver, gold. Who cares about bronze, silver, gold in a shop? If you can afford to buy something, then you should be allowed to buy it. If you could afford to buy it 10 times over because you've saved up, you should be allowed to buy 10. Yeah, none of this cooldown stuff. It's stupid. It's stupid, right? You should be able to buy as many as you can buy whenever you like. And there shouldn't be a tiering of gold, silver, bronze. That's the initial part that should change. After that, again, it's a bit like some of the other shops we've got. There's so much in the game. There's so much that could sit inside the Bazaar. I don't get it. This is the same Bazaar as when they launched it. Not one person in the development team has been like, you know what? We could change that up. We could make this way more interesting. There's so much stuff in our game that could sit in a Bazaar, and none of it's in here. The feasts, the XP barrels, the glyphs, cool gear sets, old fusion fragments. There's so much that could be in here, and it's not. I don't get it. I don't get how they've left it like this for so long. Honestly, I can't understand it from a development point of view. It makes no sense. So yeah, so the whole kind of tag team arena, hopefully that's going to be coming as a change because I have spoken about it in the recent kind of Cirilla interview, but it just feels like it could easily be reworked and the community would love it, honestly. So the last thing then that I'm going to call out, and there's a whole bunch, by the way, of quality of life changes like speed in the game, yeah, which we want to improve. But in terms of a feature, the last thing I'm going to call out is fragments. Look at this list. Look at this ridiculous list of unobtainable champions. Now, someone coming into the game that doesn't understand how it's built this way, how do they ever get their head around it? They must be like, okay, how do I go ahead and get Bevaled of the Thorn? I see him as a fragment champion. Where do we get these fragments from? Where do we get some of these old, potential epics that have come out once in a blue moon? Where do we get Mordecai from? Yeah, I really want one. People tell me he's good. He's in the fragment summon part. Where do we get the fragments? Now, Raid have got to do one of two things here, and I hope it's the second, but the first thing they could do is, once a champion has been collected, or is gone past his sell-by date on a fragment collector, just completely remove it. Stop dangling this carrot that doesn't come, because it's weird. It's weird, and the more we do, the more cluttered it becomes, and the more insane it is. So the first thing you could do is just remove it. Yeah, that's never coming again. Why is it still there? All you're doing really is causing frustration. The second thing you could do, which is way better, is either have universal fragments that you could add towards previous fusions, or add ways to get past fusions. Yeah, this is what these new special events should be. Yeah, the Path of Light, it could be the Path of Fragments. Yeah, and you could literally work your way down, collecting fragments. You choose the champions or whatever, but allow people to get these old champions. Sometimes when these champions came out, they were either misunderstood or just plain useless, and they've been changed. There might be like Yoshi the Drunkard. I didn't really value Yoshi that much. I now use him in my arena team, and I think he's awesome. My bad, I guess. I didn't really value him up front. But since the game has changed, the mechanics have changed slightly in stuff like arena, sometimes champions just grow in value and people want to go back now and try and get that champion. You should allow them to do it. Why not? Why not give people that chance? It would, I'm sure it would improve retention in your game. I'm sure it will increase interest in some other areas of the game if you added those fragments in other places. There you go, guys. That's it for me. 5 areas of the game, the worst features as they are and how I would change them. Who's with me? Who's with me? Are they not easy to change? Am I not easy to change? Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.